We're proud of our country, mountains and streams.
We're proud of our culture, one nation, one team.
Jenny and Holmes is proud to be part of the team behind New Zealand's Olympic dream. As our athletes give their all to earn the fern in Tokyo, Jenny is with them all the way.
We're proud to own our Jenny and home. We're proud to own our Jenny and home.
Today, we are reinventing insurance. It's a game changer. With a real heart and voice, say hello to an actual human being.
Hi there.
Well, kia ora and welcome everyone along to the 2021 New Zealand Cross Country Champs here at the Chisholm Links Golf Course in Dunedin, where the sun is shining. There's a little bit of a breeze blowing, but that won't affect all the action that's to come. My name is Hayden Cam and I'm joined in the commentary booth by Jason Cameron, and we are absolutely pumped to be back with the New Zealand Cross Country Champs after last year had a little bit of a downgrade from the championships to the challenge, as Auckland was in a level 3 lockdown. This time we're all on. All of New Zealand's here. All of New Zealand has been gearing up for this while the Olympics is going on in the heat of Tokyo. The rest of the New Zealand distance community has come on down to the chillier climate of Dunedin to battle it out in the mud, in the sand, in the hills of this great course here in Dunedin. Jason Cameron, how are you going?
I'm excited to be back, Hayden. It's an amazing course here at Chisholm Links, very, very much like a world cross-country course. I don't think we're going to find much mud out there today, unlike our previous meeting about a month ago in Hawera at the New Zealand Secondary Schools, where it was a mud bath.
Totally different ball game here, and you can see the athletes trying to keep warm, but it really is ideal cross-country running where you want to be a little bit chilly at the start. So we're going to get an overview of the course here, and here we've got locals Ollie Chignell and Becky Green. Becky Green not competing this year. I believe she's based in Australia at the moment, but Ollie will be have high hopes of improving his bronze from last year in the challenge, and he'll be one of the favourites in the men's race. So here we go. This is the first little leg out. It's a butterfly sort of shaped course where you head out, and this part of the course is reasonably easy going.
Yeah, it's very good surface underfoot today. There's lots of challenge out there. It's an unrelenting, uncompromising course. There's not a lot of let up anywhere really. It's lots of sharp ascents around the course. So you're looking at about an incline of about 60 to 80 metres per 2 kilometre lap. So
yeah, and we're talking about incline. That was the big decline there where we'll surely see some moves, because that's about sort of 1.2k to the end, and there's that real ramp down. But yeah, carry on, Jason.
Yeah, so we're heading back around towards through the pine grove here, so it comes up past the clubhouse, and we're climbing right up towards the top of the course here, the highest point of the course, and then there's a big sweeping right hand turn, and it's a amazing big descent back down to the start finish line where you can really ramp up your pace. And it's going to be critical that the athletes actually maintain their pace down here to keep those gaps and the momentum going.
Yeah, and then you can see there the club rooms are straight ahead, so that's where you get that good view of the finish line. And we saw last year with Hayden Wild absolutely pulling away from the field, and he had all the running to himself, and it was Eva Goodison. So it was the triathletes going and taking the wins last year in the cross-country challenge. But here we go. This is the first of 5 races that we're going to be covering, well, 5 events. Within these events are several different races. So here we have the Masters men, 65 and over. So you can see some of them there on the right. Well, they're all in their team blocks actually. And then we've got the Masters women, so that's 35 on up. And we've also got the junior women. So we're expecting the junior women to sort of lead this out, but it'll be interesting to see if some of those Masters women can keep up, because there's some quality athletes. And let's run through the start list. So we'll start with those junior women, and what a field in this under 18s. You and I have been talking this morning about how competitive the junior women's distance running is in New Zealand. So we've got Bella Brown, Chloe Brown, Peyton Lee, Kimberly May, Joanna Polland, Penelope Salmon, Stella Sampson, Natalia Carter, Georgia Rose Dawson, Neve Mulai, Sequoia Prentice, Rosa Twyford, Megan Foster, Hannah Prosser, Sadie Wesh, Jemima Antoniazzi, Hannah Capes, Charlie Miller, Amy Walker, and that's it for the junior women. In the over 65 plus, and as they head off we can see the athletes getting started. So we've got Steve Fairley, David Green, Roger Ward, Stephen Lindsay, John Palmer, Ken Fahey, Philip Morris, Phil Napper, David Stott, John Thompson, Evan McIntosh, Alan Jones, Graham Lear, Ian Morrison and Tony Dorbin. And then I will quickly run through the Masters women as well. We've got quite a big field in this first race. Lisa Cross, she'll be named to keep an eye out for, as we can see Hannah Gapes there just pulling away from the field in the early stages. So also in the Masters women we've got Mandy Donald, Rochelle Green, Claire Kenyon, Lisa Brignall, Tina Cox, Catherine Fitch, Nicole Handley, Paula Conda, Claire Anderton, Cara Bryant, Christy Isles, Orlaith Heron, Leah Selby, Georgina Pacquiao, Jackie Blay, Carolyn Fox, Lee Grieve, Nicole Jackson, Teresa Maloney, Hinano Andrews. And then in the over 50s women we've got Karen Crossan, Cian Dawson, Terry Jones, Margie Pete, Carolyn Smith, Annette Campbell, Robin Daly, Mary Clee Delahunty, Shirley Rolliston, Liz Hardley, Shireen Crumpton, Sue Hendry, Sue Kim, Christine Montgomery, Barbara Patrick, Robin Perkinson and Delise Sanderson. A few more to get through, sorry. Gail Sharp, Donna Turmaru, Linda Thiel, Deborah Tolfer, Karen Gillum Green, Christine Lear, Sally Gibbs, Deborah Lawton-Slager, Angela Clark, Loretta DeSordi, Victoria Humphries, Jan Shepherd, Michelle Van Loo and Heather Walker. Quite a list to get through. That took up probably the first kilometre of the race. There we go.
Everyone's had their moment in the sun there already, Hayden. Well done.
Good to do a little bit of a call out for everyone. And if you heard their name, be sure to jump in that comment section and cheer them along. Let's get that discussion going, and be sure also to share that link with your friends and family and club mates. Early in the day, let's get lots of people sitting behind their screens and being tuned into the action as these early stages. So this is where they are on the run. So they're just going into the back section of the course. So this is why we're getting a little rerun of where they're heading. So there's one little blind spot in terms of our camera coverage. So this gives you an idea. And there's a little bit of a camber that they have to run on, which can just be a little bit niggly as you're tired. But the 6K race, so it's a 2K lap course. And so they'll be having to do this section of the course as they climb up around to hole 2 on the course, on the golf course, I should say. And we should see the leaders coming in now. So the junior women really just separating themselves from the other 2 races in this event. And just pulling into that steep downhill there as they drop down. And here we go. We've got Hannah and Hannah Gapes, and is that Charlie Miller?
Yeah, and the visor and Sonny's there. So 1 and 2 in the Waikato Bay of Plenty Champs 2 weeks ago at Rayboard Park in Rotorua. So Charlie is, coming back into form. She's left school now. She's got a real pedigree in middle distance running, multiple New Zealand champion over many distances. She's run low 420s for 1500, and these two have got a real rivalry. Hannah's coming off the back of winning the New Zealand Secondary Schools cross country in June in Hawera in the mud, so more firm conditions for both these athletes to contend with today.
Yeah, so Hannah being prepared to lay the speed down. I imagine this is, we've got a lot of cantabs there, a good chase pack chasing them. So you can see the Brown sisters in there, as well as Peyton Lee. She's a double champion from 2020 in the under 18s 1500 and 3000 metres. So there's a lot of very speedy girls, and there's Sally Gibbs, so it looks like she might be leading the Masters women. We've got Isles there just behind her, one of the local Masters runners. I believe she's the Otago champion. So those Masters runners you can see, there's Shireen Crumpton, always a consistent performer at national cross-country champs. All the Masters runners have got a little ribbon on their right shoulder, and that's just to identify what age group they are. So, you know, if you're a Masters runner, you can decide, do I really need to catch that person in front of me, or do I need to be concerned when they go past me? There's lots of little battles within the race, and of course the Masters work on a 5-year age bracket.
See Penelope Salmon just making a little bit of a break there in front of Chloe and Bella Brown there. So Penelope had some great late season form in the track season. She ran a PB 1500 metres at Millennium Stadium up in Auckland and won the North Island Secondary Schools 1500 metres and 3000 metres senior girls. So she was second.
And that was just ahead of Hannah.
It was.
Yeah,
and,
so a couple of months ago.
Yeah, and Penelope was second in the New Zealand Cross Country Challenge in this race last year.
And good to see some barefoot running going on there from some of our male 65 and over categories. So good to see. And Southland well represented as well. And of course, we'll see shortly Dwight Grieve, who will be looking to retain his title from last year. He took out the men's Masters 35 and over. As we see these athletes contending with the hills, and you mentioned, Jason, that it's unrelenting, the course. If you're not flying downhill, you'll have something in terms of uphill, and it looks like Hannah has put a little bit of distance between her and Charlie.
Yeah, so this is a section of the course where you can, capitalise on those gains as you rise up that big climb towards the top of the course. So Hannah's looking pretty comfortable at the moment, but it's a 3-lapper, so she knows that she's got to keep a bit in the tank for the last lap, and that's those were the instructions today.
Fresh from coach who's sitting beside me.
Look, it's a top field, and just really excited about the crop of young female middle and distance runners that we've got at the moment. So this brings out the best in Hannah, these rivalries with Charlie and Chloe and Bella, Penelope, and she needs to be at her best today to win this New Zealand title.
And let's just keep an eye on that clock there as well as she comes through to take the lap, and it'll be interesting to just see how she sort of paces this, whether she goes for kind of even splits, so that's around about 7:12 for that lap, or whether she wants to throw in a good hard lap at the start to just break it up and make sure it's an honest race. And for those who didn't see the Olympics overnight, boy, there was some great racing in the women's 1500 and the men's 5000. So if you find when we have a little break in our action, be sure to go and check out those footage of those races, because they were fantastic front-running displays in terms of making an honest pace to make sure that you're in the medals. And here we see the same sort of tactics coming from Hannah Gapes. Good crew of cantabs there, all running together. Good teamwork there. Peyton Lee coming through for her first lap of 3.
And Lisa Cross is actually leading that Masters women's race at the moment. So Lisa's been a former winner of the New Zealand cross-country champs, former jockey, and well coached up in Auckland there, and she's leading it out there. So we see Charlie in second place in that junior women's at the moment, and Penelope Salmon holding third, just in front of the twins, and Lisa Cross just behind, tucked in there in front of Kimberly May, who's more of an 800 metre specialist, going on an American scholarship later this month to Providence College in Rhode Island.
Yeah, we had Graham Lear on there, who's been a multiple winner in the over 65s category.
Vicki Humphries from Wellington there. She'll be right up there in the Masters Women's too. Former winner of the race.
Yeah, great to see these athletes who featured prominently as seniors still keeping at it. Unlike some other people who have decided, oh, look, I can just sit behind a mic and watch it all happen and let them do the running for me. Speaking for myself.
But you did hit the gym this morning, and I am impressed, Hayden.
I did, and it was a good opportunity to sit on the exercycle while watching the highlights of the Olympics from overnight. But here we go. Our race winner at the moment, Hannah Gapes, looking very strong, very comfortable, going about her business very well. So coming out of Rotorua, she's used to running in the redwoods, getting out there on the trails, keen mountain biker. And she's looking good at the moment, just focusing on her processes, focusing on what she needs to do, and she'll be coming up to the halfway mark very shortly as we see Sue Hendry, one of the local women from Otago, in the women's 50. She, once a long time ago, says that she won her age group. She's a member of the Chisholm Links golf course here. So, and I was talking to the one of the course managers and asked him, how do the players, the golf members feel about giving up their Saturday of golf? And they said that I've had no complaints. If anything, a lot of positivity around seeing the best of the best domestic distance runners coming and battling it out here on their course. They really love this course. It's a good sand-based links course, which means the drainage is good, which compared to Hawera, where we had a absolute mudfest. It's nice and dry, beautiful running conditions, and look at those rolling hills. This is the sort of stuff that you love.
So Hannah just starting her big climb up to the top of the course now, and so she won by 56 seconds at Hawera, and yeah, that was on the muddy course. And the night before that race, it was actually pretty firm, and it cut up into a mud bath overnight with the rain. So look, she made a statement that day, but I think there's an expectation today. Can she do something similar on this firm track here at Chisholm Links?
So this good little pack of 4 women here. So the 2 Brown sisters, and we were talking before, we can never tell them apart, but we know that Bella is wearing 471, Chloe is wearing 472, and then we've got Penelope Salmon with her in 476 and Charlie Miller in 488.
And there's Lisa Cross. She's about 10 metres back, leading the Masters Women's.
I tell you what, she's going to keep them honest, and you can always expect a Masters runner to find their strength in the last lap. You really use that endurance and that experience. So those young ladies, we want to keep an eye on Lisa behind them. And it looks like, if anything, maybe Penelope just losing contact a little bit as she comes back onto them. But the twins doing well to work together.
And they've had a busy winter already. I've seen they've been representing North Harbour in hockey at the Nationals in Wellington a couple of weeks ago. So very talented young ladies doing lots of different things, which is really important this age.
And there's Sally Gibbs with the black singlet, or the back of the black singlet, which is the Waikato Bay of Plenty singlet. And there's Shireen Crumpton. Now, she's just recently turned 50, and her mother, Myrtle, has recently turned 80, which makes her the oldest runner in the entire field today. We've got over 400 athletes competing across all races, and Myrtle is the oldest, and she's out here. I saw her getting her spikes ready. She's still wearing spikes, not wearing trainers. Awesome to see. So there she goes. This is our race leader, Hannah Gapes, looking nice and strong. She's past the halfway mark in this competition, and she's going to go up to the top of this climb. And she will be looking forward to turning that corner, and then she'll see the nice, gentle decline towards the club rooms. And from there, it's just one lap to go. So we'll try and get a good split on that gap. But at the moment, it's looking pretty comfortable for this young lady who absolutely dominated the New Zealand secondary schools cross-country champs in atrocious conditions. All those athletes who ran at that event will remember that one for the rest of their lives because it was just torrential rain and so much mud. But she won by almost a minute over a quality field, so really stamped her mark as the premier junior cross-country runner. But here she comes up to get the bell. I'm not sure if they'll have a bell, but she is coming up to her final lap. And as I just open up the curtain so we can see out of our commentary booth and see how she's looking as she comes through to get one lap to go, 2Ks to go on this challenging course at the Chisholm Links in Dunedin. Here she goes, Hannah Gapes, looking strong as ever, and I can tell you second place is that little pack of 4 runners is probably 300 metres behind. So I can't see that being threatened by that extremely strong woman out front. But here we've got a little bit of a break. So Chloe Brown has probably had the edge over the Brown sisters in recent months. She has won the under-20 3,000 metre title in Hastings. She's the New Zealand Secondary Schools 3,000 metre champ. She was third at the New Zealand Secondary Schools cross-country champs behind that woman, Hannah Gapes. So Chloe making a little bit of a move with 1 lap to go now, as Hannah disappears behind those pine trees. And there is Chloe getting a cheer on from the crowd here at the club rooms. And she'll be able to see Hannah just sort of disappear behind those sand dunes. I'm sure that Chloe will just need to stick to her processes and not get too worried about the fact that Hannah is quite a few hundred metres up the road. And here we see these women will be looking to book themselves into the top 10, which I can tell you, going through the quality of this women's under-18 field, finishing top 10 is no mean feat. There's some very hard-working women in this field. So there we've got Antoniazzi, Twyford, and Sequoia Prentice, another one of our Cantabs. And there we go, Hannah just coming up that top of that rise. So as we said before, it's sort of a butterfly-shaped course, and so she's kind of heading out on that first wing. Teresa Maloney of Athletics in Invercargill. This is her first year taking part in the New Zealand cross-country champs. So great to have Southland very well represented at this event. As we see Hannah, she'll hit the steepest little decline. And last year this was a real sticky spot where it was quite muddy, but it's a lot drier this year. We had a beautiful sunny day. I enjoyed a wonderful run in the sun. So this is the bit that could upset people in terms of the speed of the descent. You can see how fast she's moving as she comes up on the back of Evan McIntosh, another Athletics Invercargill runner, and also Liz Hardley from Auckland. And here is Chloe, looking nice and strong. She's really pulling away. And I believe that is Lisa Cross, who's just overtaken Penelope Salmon. So Lisa Cross could get herself into the top 3 all around for this event, which would be a fantastic result for one of our women's Masters runners, given the absolute quality of this field. So Hannah will have 1K to go. Now, if you're wondering where Jason's gone, he has on coaching duty, so I can see him with a stopwatch taking a split for Hannah, and I'm sure giving a few words of encouragement. But at the moment, Hannah is showing the form that she showed at the New Zealand Secondary Schools Champs by winning by almost a minute. And you can see there, a little bit of rain has come absolutely out of nowhere. We had a bluebird sunny day when we arrived at the track. No one needed umbrellas in sight, so this little rain shower is going to come out of nowhere. I'm sure the runners out there won't be complaining, but the spectators and athletes are kind of like, oh, I should have bought the umbrella. Knew it. So Chloe Brown looking strong. She's really put in a good surge over the last 1,500 metres. And looking like she is hot favourite for that silver medal. We can almost guarantee there is too much work to do to catch Hannah. And there's Lisa Cross and Penelope Salmon. Good little battle for third in the race overall. But of course they are in different age groups. So Penelope looking like she will most likely get that third place in the under 18 women. And there is Bella Brown and Charlie Miller, who was up there in that first kilometre keeping up with Hannah Gapes. So she's looking like she might be on track for a top 5. Kimberly May looking nice and strong as well. So Linda Thiel, another Athletics Invercargill represented, we just saw there. She's in the 65 to 69 category. And she's put in her notes for our commentators. Her best performance at New Zealand Cross is 5th in her age group. And her goals is she wants to run faster. So even at the age of 65, still got those fitness goals of improving. So good to see. And this is the great thing with these events. There's always little battles within a battle. You want to improve your own performance. You'll be looking at that athlete who's had the better of you all season long. You just want to nudge in front of them maybe. And particularly for these Masters runners have often tracked each other through the seniors ranks, maybe even the junior ranks, and now they're facing off each other into the Masters ranks. And look at this weather coming in. We're really being hit by a squall from out of nowhere, and it's catching everyone by surprise because absolute complete lack of umbrellas and covers for speakers and cameras. I hope our tech crew are going to be all right out there. But here we go. Hannah Gapes has turned the corner into that strong headwind. The rain will be beating down on her face, but she won't care because she will be able to see 200 or 300 metres down the track is another New Zealand title for this young lady who continues to go from strength to strength in distance running here in New Zealand. She really came to the fore with that New Zealand Secondary Schools title, just absolutely dominating. She won the under-20s 5,000 metre title back in March in Hastings. She's the New Zealand Secondary Schools 1,500 metre champ. She's the North Island champion. And look at that gap. I can't see Chloe Brown in the distance. She cracks a smile, and so she should. Job done. National title in the bag. The New Zealand Secondary Schools champ doubles back, gets the gold once more, and proved once again she is the junior woman to beat in the distance running. Wow, what a run from Hannah. She will be absolutely pumped, and I'm sure Jason Cameron, my co-commentator, will be absolutely pumped for her. There he is. Goes and gives her a hug. Well done, Hannah Gapes, and well done also to Chloe Brown. She's the under-20s 3,000 metre champ from back in February. She's the New Zealand Secondary Schools 3,000 metre champ. She came third in the New Zealand Secondary Schools cross-country champ. She's going one better here, silver medal here at the New Zealand cross-country champs. She puts her hands to her head. She's absolutely stoked with that. And look at that, gives Michael Dawson a little hug. And it looks like Penelope Salmon is going to take third place. Bella Brown's going to take fourth. And here's the winner of the Masters woman. Lisa Cross comes over, and finishing in fifth place, Charlie Miller will round out the top 5 for the junior women. So what a race there. Excellent running. Yeah, incredible.
And there's such a camaraderie and rivalry between these young women. Great to see Charlie coming back into form there. Kimberly May, she'll be wrapped with that. She's more of an 800 metre, 1500 metre runner, toughing it out in the cross country today. I can tell you, Hayden, it is getting fairly bitter out there.
Where did that rain come from? When we arrived, it was absolutely a bluebird day, or the sort of day where you're like, this is a perfect day for running, and then this big old squall of rain comes through. All right, so our runners coming through to finish off their day in the office as they deal with this quite stiff headwind coming in. We've got Antoniazzi there.
There's
Peyton Lee. So all these ladies will be finishing just inside the top 10, I imagine.
There's Sally Gibbs.
So I think that's second place for...
Overall in the Masters
overall,
woman, pretty
and now,
good.
remember, she's in the over 50s category. So as she's been doing for the last 15 or so years, continuing to show her dominance in the Masters ranks.
Neve Moulai from Canterbury there coming across the line.
Heather Walker out of Wellington running really well. She last competed about 30 years ago for the same club for Scottish, so great to see her back after 30 years. She's now in that 50s category. So job done for all these ladies. There's Hannah, big smile on her face, pretty rapt about that. Goes to see Dad. You can see Shireen Crumpton there having a little check of her watch. The Otago M50 runner, and Joanna Polland coming through. Good day in the office for her. She'll finish off her 6 kilometres. Georgia Rose Dawson of Canterbury, and here she is, Shireen Crumpton. She will beat her mum. That's confirmed now.
Former New Zealand mountain running and marathon representative, ran in the low 240s back in her sprightly years.
Yes.
Here's Vicki Humphries coming on the outside there against one of her younger compatriots from Canterbury there. So Vicki, also a former winner of the Masters woman. And 271, Nicola Hanley there, sports physio out of Christchurch, a mum of 2. 261, and that is the incomparable Graham Lear, multiple New Zealand champion in his age group. Possibly another New Zealand title for Graham Lear. 249. Shakes the hand of his Auckland rival there. So some great runs coming out on this windswept Chisholm Links course. The first big race of the day. And quite a great crowd. Right, we're going to go to the finish line where Hayden Shearman is standing by for some post-race interviews.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here I have the winner of the Junior Women's, Hannah Gates. Well done, backing up after that fantastic win at the New Zealand secondary schools and dominated here again. How does it feel?
Oh, so good. I just wanted to finish off my last cross-country race on a high, and it worked out. I couldn't have asked for a better cross-country season. It's just all gone to plan, and I'm super happy with it.
Yeah, now right from the start you went and took the lead. You had Charlie just on your back for a little while, and then it must have felt like a bit of a workout around the redwoods or something. It was a bit of a solo effort from there.
Yeah, so that was kind of the plan. Like, I was going to go out hard, see where everyone was at, see if anyone was going to stick on me, and if they were, that's fine. Just go through the first lap, and then maybe pick it up on the second and even more on the third. And yeah, it just went all to plan, really. Yeah, really good.
And a lot drier. Well, it was dry at the start. Then we got a big dump of rain, but a lot drier than Harwood.
Yeah, so much nicer to run on this dry grass. A lot quicker, and I like that sort of racing. Although I do like the mud, but yeah, it's good to change it up a bit on a standard course.
Awesome. Well done, Hannah, and congratulations on an epic double this winter. What's next on the cards? Are we going to see you on the roads and the track this summer?
Possibly on the road. I'm still trying to convince my coach because I do love a good road race. But definitely you'll see me at the track, New Zealand Secondary Schools, throughout the summer. Yeah.
Awesome. Great work, and go and warm up and enjoy the celebrations tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, so I think we have, is it Graham? Yeah, do you want to come in? So we've got Graham Lear, who I assume, I've been distracted by Hannah Gapes with the taking out the women's race, but I assume you've just won the 65 and overs?
Yeah, the geriatric course, yep.
I wasn't going to say it, but all right, so you've won this title before a couple of times, haven't you? Do you know how many? Are you keeping a tally?
I think, yeah, from 60, so 65, 66, so it must be 4 times.
Yeah, awesome. And can I ask you what age you are, and have you got another year left in you for this age group?
I have, yeah, I'm 68 now, so yeah, I'll have one more year. But the young guys start coming through, you know, so it'll be a bit tougher next time.
Yeah, and the plan is to keep going into the 70s. We've got young Myrtle, who's 80 years old. Just she was in this race today. I imagine she's somewhere out there still. But the plan's to keep going?
Oh yeah, as long as I keep my health and keep reasonably injury free, yeah, keep going.
Awesome. And any tips on how you keep the body going?
Oh yeah, drink lots, party hard.
I love it. Great tips. And I'm sure a bit of celebrations tonight after another one.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, go and get warm, and all the best for the recovery, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you next year. Now, I should ask you as well, any plans for track or road appearances this year as well?
Yeah, if I can get up to Hamilton, I'll go for the road this year, yeah. And the road relays is the big one for Tasman.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, for the over 60s. So.
Brilliant. Great race, Graham.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much.
Back to you guys.
Okay, we're back at the finish line here, and the weather is not caving in entirely. We've had a little bit of a front come over Dunedin, and there is a bit of rain. We're crossing back to Hayden at the finish line for another interview.
No worries, I'm
I think Jason's probably hogging the mic over there.
There's no visual, but can you have a cap this commentary?
Yeah. Yep. Are we? Yeah. Do you want to let us know? We can go now.
Yeah. No shout out, just like commentary for now, because.
This is men's 65 plus, junior woman and masters woman, and our next race of the day is at 11:05 this morning, the men's under 18, women's under 18. So a great start to the day. Hayden?
Man, is it what? And I tell you, it has got cold out there. With that burst of rain coming through, the temperature seriously dropped. I was out there for like 3 minutes, and I'm wearing 3 layers.
It was bristling out there. The wind chill factor must have taken a sudden dive there, I think.
Definitely, yeah. But good to see Hannah pretty wrapped with that. And so, yeah, great race there with Hannah taking out the taking out the race. And what we didn't see, she came and tapped me on the shoulder and said, I need to give a big shout out to my parents and also my coach. So there you go, Coach. She was wanting to, thank all the people who have helped her on that road, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more things to come from that young lady. And man, it sets up such a good track season for... I've been going through these the start list for particularly the women's races and particularly the junior women's races, and really the depth of quality amongst the females is just so encouraging, and so many names that you go through the start list and you're like, we need to pay attention to her, circle her name, and it's just so great to see. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back here with the next race on the program. See you shortly.
Today, we are reinventing insurance. It's a game changer. Real-time intuition, light-speed empathy, a real heart and voice. It doesn't just understand what you're saying, it can feel it. Say hello to an actual human being.
Hi there.
We're proud of our country, mountains and streams.
We're proud of our culture, one nation, one team.
Jenny and Holmes is proud to be part of the team behind New Zealand's Olympic dream. As our athletes give their all to earn the fern in Tokyo, Jenny is with them all the way.
We're proud to own our Jenny and home. We're proud to own our Jenny and home.
Well, welcome back to Dunedin here at the Chisholm Links Golf Course. Great to have your company. As I just chose the absolute wrong moment to stuff my face with some food to keep me going. So here we have confirmation of the next race coming up. It's the men and women under 18, and apologies, I was calling the previous race the women's under 18, but of course it was the junior women under 20, so apologies for that. So the men and women under 18 will go shortly, and conditions notably cooler. So here we've got some start lists with that squall of rain coming through out of the southwest. Temperatures have definitely come down. So we've got Sambury, Ronan Codier, Christian Duval, Thomas Forrest, Dawson, William Johnston, Apicha Cotherson, Angus Munro, Benjamin Rickaby, Ben Erie, Luca Burkowski, Charlie Hazlett, Tram O'Callaghan, Theo Walker, Pi Wynyard, Carson Vesti, Toby Griffith, Flynn Pumper, Nelson Doolan, Daniel Sinclair, Luke Johnston, Matthew Bolter, Matheson Colquhoun, George Hamilton, Jake Owen, Ethan Friend, Atlas Kerr, Ben Scott, Fenlon Bailey, Matthew Bowen, Josh Fitzgerald, Joshua Gill, Henry Grab, Hayden Waddell, Harvey Williams, James Hercules, Joshua Jordan, and Max Pollan. So a solid field there for the under 18 men, and then the women's under 18 will run at the same time. And so the men are doing 6K and the women are doing 5K. So that introduces an interesting phenomenon where both will be finishing sort of similar times, I imagine. So in the women's under 18, we've got Amelia Green, Charlotte Greenwood, Stella Hammond, Rosaria Gibson, Kira Hall, Nia Motley, Maddie Sharp, Pascal Bowie, Louise Brabin, Lucy Moncton, Bella Earl, Anna Carswell, Faith Courtney, Becca Della Harp, Zara Geddes, Catherine Lund, Kennedy Taylor, Abby Carver, Lulu Johnson, Megan Casey, and Lucy Jerk. So Jason Cameron, good to have your company here as we go through event number 2 with 2 lots of medals to hand out, this time with the men's under 18 and the women's under 18, and our camera crew is doing a good job of keeping an eye on this frontal system. It's kind of caught me by surprise a little bit. We had such a good start, sunny start to the day. But of course, cross country is all about dealing with the elements, dealing with some mud, dealing with some hills, dealing with a big Antarctic front that is rolling in and making things very chilly. So
what does it take to make a top cross-country runner, Hayden? We should discuss that, shouldn't we?
Very good question. And we do talk about like battling the elements, and I think that's a good way to look at it, because you need to have a lot of boxes ticked in your arsenal of running skills to be a good cross-country runner. Now, you would know better than I do, because you've made the world cross-country team. So you tell me, have you got some must-haves for a cross-country runner?
Well, yeah, I think first and foremost, you've got to have that stamina base, the endurance base. It is a longer event, so you're predominantly using your aerobic energy system. So that's a big plus in the arsenal. Speed is relative also, so we've got some good demonstration of that today on this course, where you need to have some cadence and leg speed, which is going to really help. And you talked about that resilience, Hayden, that mental toughness, the ability to go to the well, as they say, dig deep, is a real advantage, because there's a lot that happens in cross-country, and you're kind of living on that red line between running aerobically and running anaerobically, with where the lactic acid floods the muscles. So you're living in that zone for a lot of the race. So you've got to be able to deal with that. And, mentally you will be asked some questions at the hard parts of the race. So, yeah, it's a real spectrum of skills that you need to be a good cross-country runner.
So in this race, we've got young Bella Earl, who last time we had a national cross-country champs, which remember was 2019. Last year it was downgraded to the National Cross Country Challenge, as we are in the midst of a sort of a lockdown full lockdown in Auckland, and then the rest of the country was on level 2 alert. And I've got to say, look, the local organising committee down here did just a fantastic job of running that event last year in really challenging circumstances. All the spectators had to be partitioned off, so we didn't have too much intermingling. We had hand sanitizer everywhere, and they just did an amazing job of still pulling it off. Of course, without Auckland, so good to see the blue singlets back in abundance, and New Zealand well represented. Everyone bouncing up and down, trying to stay warm. I'm sure 1K into this race, they'll have no worries about keeping warm.
There's a lot to run
heat
for.
Up quick.
There's a lot to run for today too, Hayden, with the World Cross Country planned to take place in February in Bathurst, Australia next year. So today is the official selection trial for across a number of the grades. And the winners do earn priority selection consideration in the senior men, senior women, junior men and junior women's grades. So that's an exciting carrot.
Absolutely.
Dangling in front of these athletes today, something a bit more to push yourself and get the most out of yourself for.
And I think we really do need to look at those Australian world champs as a local champs. It's just over the ditch, and look, we can really get behind it, and hopefully the world will have been opened up a lot more, and even spectators can pop across. It's fingers crossed a little bit with that, but
look,
yeah,
I really hope it.
Goes ahead.
Really hope it does, and I just encourage anyone in New Zealand who's a fan of middle long distance running to maybe consider going over as a spectator as well, because it is the greatest race, foot race on the world stage for sure. Where that combination of all the different distances come together. It is one of the hardest races to win in the world. if not the hardest, as this race here across the grades, or these races are really a real jewel in the crown in terms of New Zealand distance running to win a New Zealand cross-country title.
Absolutely. And look, the Olympics are going on in Tokyo, but for these athletes on the start line, this is their Olympics. This is the big event that they will have focused on, certainly for the winter. Their big focus for the year. And so you can see number 326, he's pumped, ready to go.
That's Charlie Hazlett from Cashmere High School in Canterbury there. So he's a top 10 in the senior boys race at Hawera in the mud in June.
You can see they're all grouped in their centre start boxes. We've got Southland next to Canterbury, and then Hawke's Bay, Gisborne. Then we move into Taranaki, Auckland. Good representation from the Otago athletes. Manawatu, Wanganui, Waikato Bay, Plenty.
And they're underway.
So here we go. The New Zealand Cross Country Champs 2021. This is your under-18s women's 5K and your under-18s men's 6K. So the boys will be doing 3 laps, and the girls will be doing 2.5. And it looks nice and quick, as you'd expect from the juniors race. Nice and fast out of the blocks, and leading the way at the moment, Joshua Jordan on the front there. Next to him is Harvey Williams of Waikato Bay of Plenty, and Max Polland just on the outside from Wellington.
And Christian Duval up there in the front bunch as well, number 318. So he's the current senior boys New Zealand secondary schools champion. Ran an amazing race in Hawera, in the tropical Hawera, Hayden, a month ago, where you were commentating.
That was a brilliant race, from Christian. It's absolutely phenomenal. So Will Anthony was the name that everyone had put out there as being the favourite. But in those conditions, over 6K, anything could happen, and Christian really came through strongly. So good to see him back. And really got a good pack of boys up the front. So maybe after that quick start, as they hit the hills and head out onto the back end of the course, there they go past hole number 1. They'll be heading up towards hole number 2, and maybe a bit of a slowing of the pace.
Yeah, it is a privilege to run on these golf courses, Hayden, and it's something more we see in America. I think the Americans use, the manicured greens and fairways of golf courses for some of their cross-country races. It's something I'd like to see a lot more of here with our cross-country, because they offer so much diversity in terrain. You've got Chisholm Links, which is probably the closest thing to, the Spa Park North Island cross-country champs course in the South Island.
Yeah, it really is a great course, and it's so good to have the hills mixed with some drier flat spots where you can get the real wheels rolling a lot quicker. So there's number 318. That's Christian Duval, so the New Zealand Secondary Schools cross-country champ. And not often that you have a cross-country champ up for the under-18s. Usually they're in the under-20s. They're in the year 13 category. So I believe is he just year 11 this year? He's got a couple of years left.
Yeah, he has.
At college. So they're coming flying down that hill, that tricky section.
That was Bella Earl there. She's leading the women's under-18s, and Kennedy Taylor from Southland just right on her heels there. So Kennedy also has had a great season in cross-country. She was 6th in the New Zealand Secondary Schools in Hawera, winner of the New Zealand Junior Girls Road Race in Tauranga last year, and a close silver in the 3,000 metres. She's a triathlete out of Invercargill, and a real competitor, and could challenge Bella today. We've also got young Lulu Johnson from Tauranga, who was the 1,500, 3,000 metre junior girls winner from Tauranga last year, so she could be in the mix too.
So this big group of boys continues to stick together. There's about 12, maybe even 15 of them, as we see Bella looking like she's got the running of it at the moment. And there we see the women splitting away. And yeah, good chase pack there of girls not too far away. So that's the first K done and dusted in under 4 minutes. So showing the pace that they're running on this relatively challenging course.
And Lulu's picking up the pace now, so she's gone past Kennedy and starting to chase down Bella Earl.
And so 5K, it's a reasonable distance for these athletes to be running as the boys head out to complete the first full lap that they'll be doing. So they do 3 full laps. The girls do 1 half lap and then 2 full laps. And we'll do our absolute best to cover both races. Our team from the stream shop doing a great job bringing you these shots, and they'll do their best to keep tabs on how this race unfolds. So there's Otago athletes doing well to run together there. It looks like the chase pack, so a lot of those athletes on screen will be looking to maybe take a top 5 position.
The sun's come out again, and we're actually not too far from the beach here, Hayden. Did you manage to sneak in a barrel or two this morning?
a little sneaky wave. I didn't, but I didn't even bring my surfboard. I should know better. But there's always that moment when you come to Dunedin in the middle of winter. The surf looks great. There's beautiful white sand beaches here. Then the first duck dive under the water, and you're like, this was a mistake. This was a mistake. We're too close to the Antarctic.
Yeah, good to see Charlie Hazlett up there. So he's making his presence felt up at the front now, running right next to Christian Duval, the Cantabrian, as they begin their climb to the top of the course. And
yeah, it's stretching out a little bit, isn't it? So we had that big pack of 12 to 15, but I can tell you that pack has been strung out, so it's really more like a train now. So we've got this pack of 5 up the front there, and then you're going back another 10, 15 metres to the next pack of 5 or so. Well, maybe we can call that 6 with the other of our Tasman athletes coming in. So there you can see there's obviously been an injection of pace by Charlie Hazlett, and it's strung out that pack. And maybe it's the effect of just coming around the corner and getting that downhill as you come into the headwind. It's good running on that section of the course and making good running of it down the steeper section of the course. Look at that great downhill running technique. You've got to use gravity on those downhills, don't you? And not let that chance to get some free speed go amiss.
yeah, it looks like it's quite tactical up at the front of the under 18 boys at the moment. So athletes sort of just measuring themselves up and perhaps listening into that breathing of their competitors running next to them. Just, yeah, keeping their cards close to their chest at the moment, not burning too many matches at this early stage as they head out on their second lap.
Yeah, so that pack definitely coming together, but coming together is not what's happening in this women's under 18 race. You can see the gap there that has really been extended by this hard-working athlete out of Whangarei, Bella Earl, 2019 champ in the under-16s. She's back 2 years later and hoping to claim another national title, and she's going about it the right way. She's about 1,500 metres into it, and there's Lulu Johnson and our Southland athlete Kennedy Taylor in 3rd place.
Yeah, and those two girls have had some real battles in the last year at the New Zealand Secondary Schools Track and Field Champs in Tauranga last year. And great to see Lulu coming back into some form now. She's a triathlete based in Tauranga, but also runs a lot as well. But she's got a lot of different skills and sports, and coached by Craig Kirkwood there.
Yeah, it's always good to see these athletes like the Brown sisters, and a lot of these high school athletes are not just focusing on running. They're keeping that balance. Got those other sports in there as well, and that's always good to see. It maintains that athleticism, and as a distance runner, you've got plenty of years ahead of you to focus on just being a runner. So we often encourage our high school athletes to stay active in whatever way they can, find their passions, and as the years progress, increase that mileage sensibly.
Charlie's looking really strong at the moment. You can see just the relaxation on his face there. There's not any strain there at all at the moment as they go into the second lap, coming back towards the start of the big climb. He comes down through that hilly section, and again, great cross-country running style there, using the gravity of that descent. And he's making a bit of a break on Christian Duval now, probably be 10, 15 metres.
Yeah, Carson Vesti also just on Christian Duval's tail, sitting in third place. So it's been a sort of a surgy type race for the men, where it's bunched up and then strung out. So a real good, strong move.
Meanwhile,
from Charlie.
Meanwhile, over the other side of the course, we've got Bella Earl, who's just starting her descent back towards the start-finish line, and she'll be very shortly starting her last lap. So she's had a great season. Got that probably what you call a surprise silver medal at Hawera in the senior girls as a year 11, so first year in the senior girls. She's won New Zealand secondary schools before as a younger athlete. She won in Timaru in 2018 in the year 9 girls. So, yeah, well coached by Ian Babe out of Whangarei from the Hatia Harrier Club.
Yeah, looking nice and strong, Bella Earl. So she's going to come up and shortly get 2K to go, which is always in a 5K, and I can tell you, I did a little 5K tempo run yesterday, and there's that good feeling when you get to 2K to go, because it sort of means that you're within Kui of a mile to go, which is sort of a rep. You've got one more rep to go. So that's how I like to look at it. But Bella Earl go past the club rooms. This is where her friends and family and teammates will be able to cheer her along. And the boys heading the other direction. Is that Kennedy dealing with a little bit of the stitch, potentially, just holding her side. So good battle for second and third, but it really does look like Bella Earl has pulled away. She looks like she's working, but as you say, staying within that range of just enough acidosis to keep flushing it out.
Living on that red line.
And it is something that you need to train not only the body but also the mind to get used to just being comfortable with discomfort.
Oh, look at Charlie. He's just eating up the ground on this big descent. And you can see the cadence and that nice high heel recovery there. So he's really making a bold move here to win this New Zealand men's under-18 title. Throwing down the gauntlet.
Yeah, there's still 2.5K to go, remember, for this race. So still a long way to go. We're talking 7 or 8 minutes left of running. And what I can see from my eye, there's probably 80 metres back to second. Christian Duval in second place. So he's certainly, as you say, the last kilometre opened up this race after it was bunching as they came through after that second lap. So there you can see the gap back to Christian. So Christian Duval, he's the New Zealand Secondary Schools senior champion from this year.
You wouldn't want to write off Christian after what he did at Hawera, because he actually came through in that race as well. In the last lap, as the conditions got tougher, he seemed to just even thrive even more and put himself in a position to close down that victory. So he's still there,
And
but
is
he's
that,
got...
Sorry to interrupt. Is that Theo Walker, I believe, from Canterbury, who's moved into third place? So we need to keep an eye on that little battle, because there's a big pack of them all within Kui of that third place.
Yeah, not to forget
There's
that
the pack right there.
they're running for teams titles as well today. So the first 4 athletes in each of these races will count towards the lowest aggregate score to for the medals in the New Zealand cross-country champs team. So, yeah, probably nearer to 10 centres vying for these titles in the teams event today too.
Absolutely. That's one of the great things about cross-country. It's not just a solo race. There's also that team element. And we saw at the New Zealand secondary schools just, you know, guys and girls coming through 50th, 60th, 70th, absolutely laying it on the line for every little place that they can get. As we flick back to the women's race, Bella Earl continues to pull away nicely.
She had a wee look there, so that probably indicates that she's pushing pretty hard at the moment. Lulu Johnson coming into shot there. And I think we've had a bit of a change there. I think Zara Geddes is up into the top 3 from Otago, so she's been showing some great form of late in the Otago champs. And Catherine Lund perhaps as well.
So Bella will have 1K to run. She goes past the club rooms for the last time. The next time she sees the club rooms, she'll be on the home straight running downhill. She's got this last hill to get up, and it's a tricky one because it's a slow grind, and you know that once you're at the top of that hill, then it's all downhill running from there. But you need to get up that hill in one piece and hopefully maintain that lead. So there is Hammond, Stella Hammond, out of Auckland.
Charlotte Greenwood going past the camera shot there. And Abby Carver from Taranaki. She was
5th at the New Zealand secondary schools on her home turf. And here we have the man of the moment at the moment for the under-18s men. So Charlie looking like he is going to definitely improve on his performance at the New Zealand secondary schools. He's really laid it down. The last 2K, remember 2K ago, it was pretty bunched, and it was sort of around this stage in the previous lap where things really opened up. But look at that gap back to second place, Christian Duval.
Yeah, he's extended that lead, hasn't he? Now, this would be a major win for Charlie. Has he won any New Zealand titles, Hayden?
I'm just scanning through my results here. So he was South Island Secondary School's 3,000 metre champ this year.
Theo Walker still holding 3rd place for Canterbury, behind Christian Duval.
I think that's going to be a good little battle for 3rd. Can any of that pack there, the Tasman athletes, the Otago athlete, can they chew up that ground up to Theo Walker? So it won't be long now until we see Bella Earl come round the corner of the top part of the course. Can she hold it together for that last climb? You got to think if she comes round in good clearance for first, she will be the hot favourite for that first position after she opened the race wide open within the first kilometre. And here she is, Bella Earl. It'll be all downhill from here. She'll have a headwind, but she's got a very, very healthy lead. As I look out our window in the commentary booth, I'm calling it well over 100 metres, and I haven't yet seen the second place in the picture. So Bella Earl, she's your reigning champion in the New Zealand cross-country champs after winning the under-16s up there in Upper Hutt in 2019. Look, she's really stepped on the gas, has a little look over her shoulder, but she's going to be safe. She could almost jog this one in here, but she wants to finish it off nice and strong. This 5-kilometre race, she's going to finish in under 19 minutes. Brilliant running from Bella. This is going to be a great time. Commanding victory, and there you can see the huge gap back to second place. And it looks like the Otago athlete, it's going to be a good battle actually back there for second and third. I believe it's Zara Geddes sitting there in second. But here's your national champion for the women's under-18. Bella Earl retains her title from 2 years ago in the under-16s. She steps up in the age group, and she's going to win it.
Zara Geddes gritting her teeth, but looks like she's going to take the silver. But Stella Hammond coming fast here at her. She has a wee look around. Zara grits her teeth and pumps those arms.
Yeah,
she comes.
Look at that determination. So she's going to take second place. Zara Geddes, one of the hometown favourites, will take second, and in third place, Stella Hammond. And here we go, back to the boys' race. So this huge move that was made, 2.5K ago.
Here
Charlie
he is.
Hazlett, the boy from Canterbury, he's looked so strong, and the ease at which he pulled away from that pack.
He's really come of age today, Charlie. This is a magnificent win for him. I think it is his first New Zealand title. Stand to be corrected there.
So he's going to be your under-18 men's champion, a commanding victory here after it was so close in the early 2 kilometres of the race. He takes the win, takes the gold. He's going to be a happy boy over that 6K course. He will win, as we see. This will be some of our top 5 finishes.
Christian Duval, second place. Oh, and there we have a bit of movement there into third. So that bunch did
so
come
close.
through.
Yes, it was one of our Tasman athletes just getting up there for that third place.
I think it was Joshua Gill from Tasman who got a bronze there. Came through strongly in the last K.
Yeah, so great to see Christian Duval backing up his New Zealand Secondary Schools title with a solid second place. And I'll go and try and track down our winners and have a little chat.
Great finishes coming here up the straight as we wait for Hayden to get into position for some interviews. Angus Munro from Auckland just coming across the line there. And great to see these young women and men. Here is Hayden with our first winner.
We've got Charlie Hazlett, the winner, pretty happy looking winner. How did it go out there?
Oh man, that's what I've been looking forward to all year really. It's my last year in under-18s and it means everything to finally get like a national title properly, because I've got one but it's by default, so didn't actually feel like a national title, but this really makes it all worth it, all the training and all that, so yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, I was going through the records we've got and I was trying to track down, have you won a national title? Was that the 800 where,
No.
where you got through, or a 1500 where you got through from a
1500.
DQ?
Yeah, so my friend Ethan, who's running the under-20 grade right now, Ethan Smallway,
Yeah.
he pushed someone with 200 to go, and me and him went 1-2, and then he later got disqualified, which is unfortunate, but
Yeah.
I'm sure he's going to do very well today, and I'm looking forward to see how he goes. So,
Well, now you've got another gold to hang maybe in the sock drawer, hang on the wall somewhere. That's a commanding win, and it looked like it looked pretty bunched for the first lap. And then what were you sort of thinking? And was that the plan to put in that big surge sort of 2.5K in?
Not at all. I was just wanting to sit on Christian because I knew how much of an amazing athlete he is, right? So he won national secondary school, so I was like, I'm just going to sit on him and wait. But then I felt really good with like 3K to go, and he was breathing hard, so I was like, he's hurting, I'll make him hurt more. So yeah, that's how it went, yeah.
And how were you feeling? I saw you sort of coming through the past the club rooms on that last lap and looking pretty comfy. Maybe having a chat to the coach. Were you feeling good?
Oh, it was surprising. I had my school formal last night, and I flew down this morning, and I was just flight got delayed by 10 minutes, so it was a miracle I made it, but felt really good with 2K to go, and I was like, all right, I feel good, I think I can win this, so I just put a smile on my face and tried to do another lap around the course, so it was awesome.
I love it. So school ball last night, catch the flight here, it's running late. How close was it getting to the course?
I got here 30 minutes before, but I was running on a lot of nervous energy, so I just channeled that into the race, and it worked really well, so I'm stoked, man. It was awesome, yeah.
Wow, what a weekend for you, and how are you going to celebrate? What's the go-to? Have you got a go-to meal afterwards or something?
Oh, mate, meat on chips from any Turkish place. It goes hard. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, brilliant. Well done, Charlie. Fantastic win, and well done for picking up your first official national title. I don't know, unofficial.
I've got a mountain running one.
Legend. Yeah. Well, keep it up. We'll see you shortly in the rest of the season. Cheers, mate. Now I'll bring in Bella. Earl, congratulations, Bella, backing up after your 2019 title as well. How did it go out there? You look strong.
It was really good. I really liked the course, and yeah, I felt really good.
Yeah, awesome. And so coming down from Whangarei, this is a little bit colder.
Yeah, it's freezing compared to what I'm used to. Yeah.
Now your race kind of panned out a little like the boys. You probably didn't see too much of what was happening in the boys' race, but kind of similar in that there was a few in it early, and then you put a little bit of a surge, a K or two in, and then it was sort of solo running from there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was that kind of the game plan? Did you have a bit of a plan coming in?
I just wanted to run good and go hard from the start, and yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And what's the rest of the plan for the season? Are you going to do some road stuff? Are we going to see you on the track?
I'm going to do the New Zealand Road Champs and probably the track races as well. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, Charlie's go-to meal afterwards was meat on chips. What's your celebration meal?
I don't know, just maybe pizza.
Yeah. Pizza sounds good. I'm down with pizza. Well done on another national title. Go and get warm and collect that medal and celebrate well. Yeah. Awesome. All right, guys.
Oh, some fantastic interviews there with our winners. Charlie Hazlett from Canterbury, the winner of the under-18 men's race, and Bella Earl from Northland taking out the under-18 women's. As we look forward to our next race this morning at 11:35, we'll be back with you for the junior men and masters men from Chisholm Links in Dunedin.
Today, we are reinventing insurance. It's a game changer. Real-time intuition, light-speed empathy, a real heart and voice. It doesn't just understand what you're saying, it can feel it. Say hello to an actual human being.
Hi there.
We're proud of our country, mountains and streams.
We're proud of our culture, one nation, one team.
Jenny and Holmes is proud to be part of the team behind New Zealand's Olympic dream. As our athletes give their all to earn the fern in Tokyo, Jenny is with them all the way.
We're proud to own our Jenny and home. We're proud to own our Jenny and home.
Kia ora whānau, welcome back to the 2021 New Zealand Cross Country Champs here at the Chisholm Links in Dunedin, where we have the junior men and the masters men going to take it on the 4-lapper around this 2K course, 8Ks, and this is going to be meaty. The sun's back out, the wind's blowing a bit, it's nice and cool conditions, which is really perfect for cross-country running, and thanks for sticking with us as we catch a bit of a note from our sponsors. And look, we've got to say a massive thank you to Aon, who are our national sponsorships, sponsors for all our national championships. And also a big thank you to Jenny and Holmes, who have signed on again to be our national track and field champs sponsor. So great to have them. Now there you can see the lineup for the junior men. I'll read through that list, but maybe we leave off the full list of the Masters men, because or else we'll be here all day. It's a big old field. So in the junior men, we've got Sam Hayes, Luke Hitchcock, Andre McKay, Ben Rusco, Henry Ellett, Jamie Barnes, Cameron Clark, Thomas Clark, Logan Cowie, Noah Fenwick, Henry McMeeking, Luke Mitchell, Chanel Muir, Ethan Smollett, Corbin Stricker, Max Janzik, Richmond Walker, Ben Conda, George Lambert, Ruben Beard, Gus Gannon, Luke Geddes, Josh Ho, Leo Staffenberg, Grayson Westgate, Jacob Weston, Benjamin Britton, Mccallum Rose, James Corbett, Ben Hennessy, William Taylor, Will Anthony, Mason Waterworth. It's a quality field, and look, if I'm one of these Masters athletes, I'm like, how do we keep up with this field of juniors? Because they are going to light up this first lap, absolutely. And look, it's going to be interesting, Jason Cameron, how this one unfolds. If you're a Masters runner, do you go with the young bucks?
Well, I think there'll be a few that do. You see the man in the white cap there, number 206, Ian Mcdonald. So he was a front runner in this very race last year in the New Zealand Cross Country Challenge. So, yeah, he went out after it and chased. I think he actually led the juniors on the first lap. So he's in probably better form this year. So I'd expect him to be right up the front. But there's your man there, probably the favourite in the junior men's race. Second place in the New Zealand Secondary Schools, Will Anthony out of Wellington. Spoke to him at the airport yesterday, and he was very relaxed and excited about the prospects, having the opportunity to run on this course again. It probably suits him well. He's very much an endurance-based athlete. He's had some good track performances too, though. Ran 8:16 in the North Island Secondary Schools 3K a couple of months back as well. As we get ready for the start, they're in the stalls and they're underway.
So the 2021 men's under 20 cross-country champs goes on with the Masters men's as well. So that's the 35s to 64 age categories, and right to the front goes Will Anthony. You know, I feel like he will be hungry for this one after just missing out on the win at the New Zealand Secondary Schools. He has started off and decided this pace is going to be hot, boys. If you want to go with me, you've got to be prepared to fight, because look at that big field. Isn't that beautiful scenes in the sunshine here in Dunedin? So that quick start has been answered, but you can see things getting strung out. And as you say, Ian Mcdonald, the first of our Masters runners, you'll be able to spot the Masters runners not only by the receding hairlines, but also the little ribbons just on their right shoulder will let you know what age group they are in. I believe Ian's in the 35 to 39 age group, but Will Anthony, look at this, already a gap. This is huge from Will Anthony. He's come here with a game plan.
I think Cam Clark in second place, so he was the winner of the under-20s last year. So there's a real challenge here for him, and Will is setting the tempo early. But it's still early days, and we saw George Lambert up there as well from Manawatu Wanganui, so he was a top 5 New Zealand Secondary Schools, real gritty performer from Wanganui Collegiate.
There's a lot of names that I'm circling in this men's under-18 race, and when we're talking about the North Island cross-country champs and the South Island cross-country champs, Mccallum Rose was the winner of the North Island, so that was sort of his first really big victory from the Taranaki runner. So he's sort of claimed North Island rights, bragging rights, and Cameron Clark, as you mentioned, he's the South Island champ and also the Canterbury champ, so another man to keep an eye on. But at the moment, it's Will Anthony who has come here with the game plan to run hard right from the gun. It's a long way to go from here. You've got 4 laps of this challenging course around the Chisholm Links here in Dunedin. There's a little bit of a wind blowing, but as he just sort of gets a little check on his first K. I imagine his GPS just pinged him, let him know what that first K split was, and that'll be interesting actually to see what sort of pace these boys are willing to put down. Last year we saw Hayden Wild averaging around about 3:07, 3:08 per K, finishing up with a 31 something for the 10K.
Yeah, and also in the mix up there in that junior men's race, we've got, I think, Jacob Weston from Otago and young Max Yangzik from Canterbury, who I understand is I think he's a stock muster or something around in the North Otago area, I think. That's where his family farm is, loves his hunting. His coach, Craig Motley, tells me.
So Will Anthony looking in control, in command at the moment. But as we've said before, it's a long way, this 8K course. He had a 6K event at the New Zealand secondary schools in the mud of Hawera. But here in Dunedin, it's 8K. And as we've said before, it's unrelenting. Ian Mcdonald keeping up there with this little pack of juniors.
We might see a big move from Dwight Grieve, I think, who's also in this field today. So he came through strongly last year to take out the overall Masters men's race.
We also saw Brendan Thompson there. He's the Wellington Masters champion, just recently upgraded to the men's 50. New lease on life when you age up and find yourself with a bunch of guys who are slightly older, and you're the young buck coming in. So there is Brendan with the yellow singlet.
There's Neville Britain from Queenstown. He's a prominent coach down in the Southland area there. His son will be running, I think, in this race as well.
So beautiful scenes here with the first lap. And there you can see Michael Ray with the first lap of this 8K cross-country race. So a reminder, it's 2K per lap. They'll all be doing 4K, and we have the juniors, the under-20s, and we've also got the Masters men, which really incorporates, 6 age groups with the 35 to 39, 40 to 44, and so on, right up to the 60 to 64. So a lot of these athletes will have looking sideways at each other all season long. This event is a big mark on the calendar, but the other big one is, of course, the National Road Relays. We heard Graham Lear talking about that. They've got a strong team from Tasman, and a lot of these athletes will get a good look at each other at the National Cross Country Champs before they line up in the teams' road relays, which is always an exciting event. But Will Anthony pulling away as he comes down onto this nice, long downhill section that takes you back to the club rooms. And that will complete his first lap of 4. So Will Anthony looking good at the moment.
Yeah, seems to be really at home here on this Chisholm Links course. Likes the firmer footing. We see George Lambert coming up onto the shoulder of Cam Clark there. And Max Janzik just a couple of metres behind. And Jacob Weston in 5th place. Ian Mcdonald having a great run out there already. So he's leading that Masters 35 to 49 age group. He's got the white cap on. A well-performed runner out of the Rotorua Lake City Athletic Club. And he is another one preparing for that National Road Relay Champs, where some of those perennial battles will continue. Can't wait to see some of those big clubs vying for that national title in the first weekend of October around the roads of Akaroa.
So you can see Luke Hitchcock there on screen, and then a big crew of runners in that pack, and a lot of those boys will be hoping to edge their way into the top 5, possibly top 10. Was that Dan Clendon out of Wellington?
You saw Nick Moore, and there is Dwight Grieve there.
So James Parrot, the 36-year-old out of the University of Canterbury. This is first time at National Cross Country champs. He won the Southern Lakes 10K road race earlier this year, and he's entered into the Queenstown Marathon for later this year. So really using this event as a good strength builder.
Yeah, so Will's dad, Michael Anthony, I used to run against him at school way back in the day in the 80s. So he was based in Christchurch out of Mighty Hole High School, and I understand quite a few of the family down from Canterbury watching Will on this course today with mum and dad here too. So great to have some support from your family in these big races. It's a tough old course, and yeah, lots of hard yards to be done, and it helps when you got a bit of support out there from your family. Now Michael Ray, former World Masters cross-country champion in the 50-year age group from Korea. A couple of years back, we have Phil Sadgrove, another former New Zealand cross-country representative back in the 80s. John Gablin out of Canterbury there, 217. Prominent administrator and still a keen runner.
Yeah, David Hadley there from New Plymouth Harriers. This is his first year at New Zealand Cross, and he only took up running in his 50s. So when he did a half marathon, and he says he's got a point to prove to the younger guys. I love it.
Oh, Cam Clark still running freely in second place there. Looking nice and relaxed. It's still early days, but Will has really made a statement here early on in this race. He knows what he wants, and playing to his strengths, which are, endurance and that stamina. He's run under 14 minutes 30. I think he's done 14:20 recently for a 5,000 metres. So coached by Alistair Leslie from Wellington. Looking very smooth, but this bunch vying for the minor medals at the moment is starting to get really interesting here. As Nick Moore, 179, so he's right up there in that Masters men's race as well. Nick's really well-performed runner out of the Owairaka Club in Auckland, so he'll be relishing the opportunity to run with these young guys and have the pace set for him.
It's Simon Mace there of Auckland there as well.
There's Dwight Grieve also, and haven't caught sight of Robbie Johnston. He's out there, the former two-time Olympian from 92 and 96, third fastest of all time in the 10,000 metres for New Zealand.
So there is Mccallum Rose. So he's the North Island cross-country champ for this age group, but he's been dealing with some knee niggles. He's going to be off to West Philadelphia for a running scholarship. So he'll be on a plane very shortly, as we saw Dwight Grieve wearing the Southland singlet.
And there's another one of those low 28-minute club runners, Blair Martin there from Otago. So he was low 28 minutes for 10K back in his prime. And that's a great thing about this event. We see the old boys still getting out there and doing it, Hayden. It's, I'm not going to say the still running as fast as they once were, and that can be quite demoralising. But
it can be, and when you talk about some of these guys, they might be 10 minutes slower than what they used to be for the 10K. And so that can be hard to take when you're looking at the watch and thinking these are lots lower splits than I was used to. But you do need to adapt, and that's the way to enjoy. And it's part of why we have these 5-year age groups. As you get older, it's a great way of gauging your performance and realizing that every 5 years, my personal best times reset themselves.
Yeah, and that age grade calculator that's been formulated globally is a great way to look into how you measure up against what you were at a similar age. So you can plug in your time at an age and know that, well, that's worth a 14-minute 5K. I might be running 17 and a half now, but if I was the same age, I'd probably be running about 14 minutes. I'm still in my prime.
Yeah. And you know, when you look at the likes of Sally Gibbs, she's often scoring over 100% in her
one of the highest
adjusted times.
Consistently in the 90s is Sally.
Yeah. And look, Nick Willis, if you haven't caught up on that news, in the semi-final, people might have been slightly disappointed, saying, oh, Nick Willis dropped out in the semis. But no, that was a huge performance for a man of, what is he now, 38, and that was the fastest ever by a man of that age group. I think it's the third or fourth fastest by a man over 35. So to run that in a semi-final at the Olympics, just phenomenal. So one of New Zealand's true greats in middle distance running. But here we have the future of New Zealand distance running, and this man on screen, Will Anthony, he really has been one of the boys to beat for the last 12 months. Do we call a little hiccup? I mean, it's coming second at the New Zealand secondary schools a hiccup. I'd call it a massive career highlight if it was me. But for a man of his standards, I'm sure he was hungry for this one, and he would love that New Zealand cross-country title. And they're just pulling away is Cameron Clark. So he's your South Island and Canterbury champ. Looking nice and comfy.
Yeah,
Looking
very
like he's
nice.
just getting into his rhythm, getting into his work. And there's this big pack. Now, this pack will be hunting like a pack of wolves. They'll have their eyes on the prize of those top 5 positions in front of them. You can see Mac Rose got into that position.
And Nick Moore's the odd man out there because he's 46, given away 25 odd years. Ian Mcdonald coming through. He'd be holding second place, perhaps.
And we've also got Rodwin Isaacs, so he's in the Masters men as well. So there's a good little battle for these Masters titles. I'm very intrigued to see how these play out.
Yeah, and the 50 plus too, because we haven't seen who's leading that one. So there's a few contenders for that title. We've got Wim Loopers from Auckland, who's been the standout Masters 50 runner in the last 12 months. So he ran 4:37 for the mile over summer. There's Robbie Johnston there from Otago, 2:32. So Wim, yep, he's probably the favourite today, but we've also got Chris Martin from Canterbury. Well-performed runner from Canterbury. Jason Bailey from Canterbury could be in the mix there as well.
And look, I don't know if there's anyone more passionately competitive than Masters men trying to keep their competitive aspirations alive into their 40s and 50s.
If the Achilles is still intact,
yeah, they will.
Can run, will run.
They will bleed. They will rupture tendons. They will put their bodies on the line for bragging rights.
But that's not what we'd expect from some of our younger emerging athletes. Don't put yourself through the pain barrier.
They'll listen to the coach a little bit more. But Will Anthony, look at that gap. Back to Cameron Clark, who hasn't even hit that downhill yet. So what are we? Is this we're onto the third lap now, aren't we? I'm sort of losing track. So they're probably through 5K now. So that's solid. I wonder if we can get a time on screen and see what sort of pace he's gone through. There we go. So that gives an indication of how hot he has made this race. So a tick over 15 minutes for 5K. Now that is comparable to the sort of pace that Hayden Wild set when he absolutely dominated the seniors race last year at the New Zealand Cross Country Challenge on this same course. So that explains this massive gap. When you're running just a tick over 3 minutes per K, and to have that sort of lead, that's phenomenal. Wonderful running from Will Anthony. He's gone. He's out of the picture. And a bit of movement here in that pack. Remember 1K ago, that pack was all glued together. So there's been some serious movement. It looks like Mac Rowe has put in a little surge. We've got Nick Moore just being dropped a little bit from that pack. So there's been some good movement.
And I think Rodwin Isaacs is in front now, I think, in that Masters race. Yeah, he is. So you see Max Janzik from Canterbury in the junior men's. And Mac Rowe won the North Island cross-country champs at Spa Park in the first weekend in July.
Yeah, Macro off to West Philadelphia. And when he told me I was going to West Philadelphia, I suddenly jumped into the Fresh Prince rap. And he was sort of looking at me sideways like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, you're clearly not old enough to remember the rap. In West Philadelphia, born and raised. So he's got to learn that one before he goes, because I'm sure it's like the national anthem in West Philadelphia. So be sure to follow his Instagram. There'll be no doubt some b-ball in the playground. So there we go. Will Anthony, he's got a commanding lead. This is the downhill section where he's going to come back to the club rooms, and he will have 2K to run. And look, it'll be interesting to see what sort of a gap he's got on the rest of the field. Maybe I should get my stopwatch ready and give a split, because he came here with a game plan. He has executed the game plan perfectly right from word go. They were out of the gates like crazy. You know, junior men's races usually start fast, but this one was particularly fast because it was strung out within 200 or 300 metres. And he continues to pull away, running a tick over 3 minutes per K. Impressive.
Yeah, another opportunity on the line for these junior men today is that priority selection for the World Cross Country Champs in February in Bathurst next year. So Will is well aware of that and wants to stake his claim today, and winning this race will put him in an excellent position to be at that event, hoping that it goes ahead.
Absolutely. So, well, little check of the watch. Maybe his GPS is running a little bit early, telling him he's done 6K. But there you can see, that's the gap back to second. So that is Cameron Clark, the South Island champ. And he had a little quick look over his shoulder to see how third place is looking. But from here, it will be 2K left to run. And look at him, Will Anthony, looking nice and strong.
Yeah, he's extended his lead. It must be 250 metres plus. Quick glance at the watch there for Cam Clark. He's still looking really relaxed, Cam. Good, nice arm carriage there, and he's still got that high knee lift. George Lambert coming through in third place.
Yeah, so I make it about 30 seconds between Cameron Clark and Will Anthony, and then about another 20 seconds back to George Lambert. And then it's Mac Rowe, fast finishing Mac Rowe. I was worried that his knee injury he's been dealing with for the last few weeks would have taken the edge off him, but he played it calm and collected in the first lap or two. And now it looks like he could be within a chance of striking out for a medal potentially. So this Masters race is unfolding very nicely as well. I believe it's Nick Moore sitting in first. Or
no, he's just behind. Yeah,
McDonald?
Rodwin Isaacs from Auckland, the winner of the North Island Masters title. So he's got about a 20-metre gap to Nick Moore. But Nick is very experienced cross-country runner. He's in the 45 to 49-year age group. So he's giving away a few years to young Royden, but real competitor. There's 181, Vajan Armstrong, better known as an ultra-distance runner, place getter in the Tarawera Ultra Marathon previously.
Yeah, here's Will Anthony. He's looking in control. So I imagine he's been training to run that strategy, get out hard, and then just settle into your rhythm from there on in. This will be the last time he comes down this really steep section of the course. Down he goes, showing that good downhill running technique, which is something you want to practice. You want to find some good hills and really learn to float down them and conserve as much energy, but gain as much speed as possible. I remember coaching some athletes on good downhill running technique, and I went head over heels in front of about 40 of them. It was the potentially the most funny thing they'd ever seen in their lives. So don't come to me for good downhill running technique, but it looks like Will Anthony has it all on lock at the moment. He's got 1K to go, has a little check of the watch, and continues this domination of the race after getting second place at the New Zealand secondary schools behind Christian Duval. He has come here with that game plan to go fast from the start, make it an honest race, and look at that gap. No one within sight. Looks like this last K is almost going to be a little bit of a victory lap. And there is second place, Cameron Clark. As we see one of our Masters runners there, Gordon Wong, who used to run on the track as a schoolboy. And he has kept up his running and now getting back into it in his early 50s, following his kids around. So always great to see these Masters runners getting back into it once their kids go. Remember we had Myrtle and Shireen Crumpton earlier in the day. Mother and daughter. One's 80, one's 50, still at it. So good to see. Now that's Mccallum Rose. I want to say that it's about 30, 40 metres up to George Lambert in third place. So that's going to be tricky to pull back in the last kilometre.
Yeah, George has got to keep the Yadawi look there. He's got to keep the pressure on for the next couple of minutes right up to the top of the course where he can freewheel it down that big long stretch towards the finish there. But Mac Rowe, he's in the form of his life, isn't he? He's looking forward to that scholarship opportunity in the States. And we see Rodwin Isaacs. But Nick Moore moved past that, the other junior runner, and he's really trying to shut him down.
And there's the white cap of Ian Mcdonald. So is that back in third place?
It is.
For the Masters. So a bit of movement in the Masters there. And let's just check what age group Nick Moore is in. I believe they're all in the same age group. Oh no, so Nick Moore, I'm giving him a few years there. So he's in the 45 to 49 age group. So he's running well to be leading that pack of younger Masters athletes. And then Rodwin is in the 35 to 39 along with Ian Mcdonald. So all those races within the race. But this boy has run the race of his life, dominated it right from the start. I would say within 2 metres into the race, he was winning it. And he has not let up from then. He continues to pull away and keep an eye on that clock. So it's an 8K course. And he has continued to run, 3:05, 3:10 per kilometre throughout. He was second at the New Zealand secondary schools. He was the hot favourite going into that competition, but it took a fantastic effort from Christian Duval to take him out in the mud of Hawera. But not this time, says Will Anthony. He's come to Dunedin to take gold, and gold he does in the men's under 18. What a run. Under 20, I should say. Fantastic run from Will Anthony. No, it is the under 18, isn't it? I've been confused with that all day long.
No, I think it is the under 20. Yeah,
it is. Oh.
Yeah, you're right there. Hayden Cam Clark there. He's running well. Winner last year on the New Zealand Cross Country Challenge. Great to see him back. He's going to take a silver and a meritorious silver as well, because Will Anthony's in such great shape.
Yeah, brilliant from Cameron Clark, backing up after his South Island cross-country title, his Canterbury cross-country title, and now a silver medal to add to that collection. And we also keep our eyes on third place. It looks like George Lambert has that sewn up, unless there's a fast-finishing Mac Rowe. But silver place, little fist pump. Well done, Cameron Clark. What a winter. And here we go, little kick, but he won't need to. The Manawatu Wanganui athlete, George Lambert, will take third. And Mac Rowe, after dealing with some debilitating knee injuries, looks like that knee has played ball. He'll take fourth place, top 5 at the National Cross Country Champs. That's a big result.
An awesome run coming from Rodwin Isaacs, who is taking out the Masters 35-49 with the green ribbon on the back of his singlet there. Nick Moore just camouflaged by that younger runner there. Going to be second place in the Masters in the 45-49 age group. It's all happening. We've got Ian Mcdonald. He's going to take the bronze in the 35-49, representing the Waikato Bay of Plenty.
Benjamin Britain from Southland there, just crossing the line. And here's Dwight Grieve. He won this event last year at the New Zealand Cross Challenge. And we've got Ethan Smollett, who is always featured in the top 5 or top 10 at New Zealand championships. And finishing off a good day at the office. Big sprints here.
Dan Clendon, 2:07.
Ben Hennessy as well, just going through. He might just make the top 10 potentially. Here's Dwight Grieve coming up on the side of Ruben Beard of Otago. Juniors versus Masters. It's always a good little battle to see who wins those sprints. There's Vajan Armstrong. Grayson Westgate just checks his watch, see if he's on target. And Richmond Walker of Hawke's Bay Gisborne doing well to come in and finish. Now I'll head out there, try and get some interviews.
Yeah, we're looking for the winner of the Masters 50-year age group. Number 175 there. Tim Hitchcock coming across the line there. And I saw Chris Martin from Canterbury. So this is Chris Martin wearing the Canterbury singlet in the 50-year age group. So unofficially in the top 3 on the podium there. This rich mix of youth and experience here in this combined race. Dean Chiplin from Waikato Bay of Plenty and 186. Dale McLaughlin from Canterbury. Ben Refford coming across the line there. Blair Martin, David Fitch. Blair Martin, a former 28-minute 10K runner. There's Robbie Johnston, 2-time Olympian for New Zealand. Comes across the finish line in the 50-year age group. And we're getting ready for our interviews here with young Will Anthony, the winner of the under-20 men's race. National championship win for him, and possibly our Masters winner as well. So crossing live now to Hayden at the finish line. There's Richard Bennett there from Canterbury, one of the stalwarts of Canterbury distance running.
Me amongst a lot of sweaty, tired bodies here at the finish line. I can hear a lot of grunting going on, but one man who's very happy with his result, a commanding win in the men's 20. Will Anthony, how does that feel? National title?
Yeah, it feels pretty good. Last year I was pretty happy being downgraded. It took the national title out of it, which was a bit gutting, but goal was to come out here today and win, and hopefully with a big lead, and I managed to do that, so I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, and how was your, I was talking in the commentary just as you're running, saying a silver medal to anyone in the country in the national secondaries would be a career highlight, but for you maybe a slight disappointment. Was there a little bit of, I need to get that national title in the bag?
Yeah, for sure. I came out of secondary schools pretty disappointed. To get silver, I got silver back in 2019, so to get another silver this year was pretty gutting, especially in my last year. So the goal was to come out here and run a quick time as well as hopefully taking the title. So
yeah, and it was quick right from the start. We were sort of clocking you sort of 3:05s, 3:10s, but within 50 metres you had the lead and didn't relinquish.
Yeah, that was the plan. My first K was slightly faster than I was planning. I went 2:57 by my watch, which I saw that and I'm like, last lap's going to hurt. But I ran the time that I wanted to, so yeah, pretty stoked.
Yeah, and from what we could tell, you were sort of similar splits to what Hayden Wild was doing last year for the 10K, so solid effort.
Thank you. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't realise it was that quick.
Yeah. No, it's good. And what's next for you? You've obviously got school to finish off, New Zealand track and field, secondary schools later in the year, but what's next on the cards?
I've got Wellington Road Champs coming up in a couple of weeks, and then a couple of weeks after that, New Zealand Road Champs. So doing under 20s this year, 8K, another 4-lap slog, but fingers crossed that goes well.
Yeah, back into it. Well, go and rest up, go and recover well. We've been asking a few other athletes, what's your favourite recovery meal, celebration meal? What's on the cards for you?
I'm not actually sure, just anything with a lot of sugar, maybe a bit of fried food, we'll see.
Sugar and deep fried food, sounds good. All right, go and enjoy it, and congratulations again.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, let's see if we can find Rodwin Isaacs, if we can find him in the crowd somewhere. There's a lot of tired bodies, a lot of sore bodies. We'll see if we can track him down. Yes, Rodwin. Yeah, well done. Congratulations on the win. How did it feel out there? Because there was a good little battle with you Masters boys.
No, I think the under-20s were the ones that were going quite fast, so I was just trying to keep up with them.
Yeah.
And fortunately, there was a good pace set by the Masters men, so just try to hang in there and thought I'd push it in the last 2 or 3 Ks. Yeah.
Awesome. And it kind of looked like with about 2K to go, there was a big surge in the back part of the course where it really blew it open. Is that sort of when you made your move?
Yeah, I thought with about a 2Ks to go, I thought I didn't want to be in that mix. So I just tried to keep a healthy distance. But the plan was always to go harder just towards probably the last 750 meters. So yeah, irrespective of if I was in the dogfight or not, but I tried to stay away from that. Yeah.
Choice. Now in the commentary booth, we were talking that there's no more passionately competitive people than the Masters men, who are always looking to just edge out their competitor that they've been racing all season long. Talk us through what it's like as a Masters runner. Are you just looking at your age group, or are you looking at the overall Masters?
Look, I'm not too sure about the rest of the Masters, but you enter races to win, so I just want to run as fast as I possibly can. But at the end of the day, my mind, I still feel like I'm 20 years old. Body, not so much at times, but I just go out there and push as hard as I can.
Cool. And what's next for you? Have you got a road season coming up?
Yeah, my goal is Auckland Marathon, the 42K.
Yep.
So this is all part of training for that. That's my main goal for the year, is just to try and do well in that marathon.
Awesome. Got any goal times out there? Want to lay anything out there for the people listening?
I'll definitely say my goal is sub 2:30. Cool. So that's what I'm aiming for. I've never run under 2:30 for a marathon, but I'm feeling in good shape, and definitely think I'm going to do that this year.
Brilliant. Well, all the best training for logging the miles, Rodwin, and we'll definitely see more of you this season, and all the best for the training.
Thank you for organising all of this. It's been really awesome.
Yeah, thanks, man. And look, the Otago athletics community have just done a fantastic job putting this on. So shout out to all you guys. As you can see, they've also brought the weather after that sort of rainstorm that we had. But back to you, Jason, there in the commentary booth.
Oh, awesome, Hayden. Thanks for that. We see some of our older Masters men coming into the finish line there. Number 229, we have Richard Fogarty from Otago, and there's Neville Britain from the Queenstown Remarkable Runners coming in to finish his 8K journey. So some great running from our Masters men, mixing it up with the young bucks there today. So Hayden?
There
Pretty
we go.
inspired, are you?
Oh, am I what? Like
You're going to be hitting the Logan Park this afternoon for a few 1K reps?
May as well, if you're going to join me. Oh.
Well, I still have to do my workout, but because I slept in this morning.
I mean, for the last week and a bit, 2 weeks, we've all been inspired by the Olympics. But for these athletes, this is their Olympics. This is their big moment to shine, and so cool what it means to them. You know what it meant for young what is his name? Will Anthony. I've had so many names go through my head. For Will Anthony, it really was such a big win for him to cap off his secondary school career with a win in the juniors. So we are going to take a break in the coverage. We'll be back for session number 2 this afternoon, a little bit after 1, probably about 1:15. We'll be going live. And that will be the girls and boys under 16, and then we move into the big one, the senior men, senior women. Who is going to take those titles? Man, that is going to be such a race. So be sure to tune in. Send the link to all your friends, your clubmates, your whānau, and let's get some eyeballs on screen. My name is Hayden Sherman. With me is Jason Cameron. We'll see you all shortly. Ka kite.